Hi, my name is Samantha Bergeron. I'm a freshwater fisheries biologist with the Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks. I started fly fishing shortly after college and found that I really enjoyed it. For a while, I would just fish along lakes and creeks, and recently I joined a group of fly fishermen who taught me how to tie my own flies. Tying my own flies has let me customize them to what I want to catch. Today, I'm going to show you how to customize your own flies with these patterns.
So this is Lefty's Deceiver. It was designed by Lefty in the 50s. It is useful for bass, saltwater or freshwater, largemouth bass, striped bass, spotted bass. You can tie it on a size 8 up to a size 2/0 hook. Generally, this is a size 8, so this is about the smallest that you can tie it on. And this is a 2 times long, a 2X size 8 hook. So the first thing that you do is you dress your hook, and this will keep your fly from slipping off while you're using it. Lefty's Deceiver has 4 hackle feathers, and that's the first thing that you tie in. So you want them to be about twice as long as your hook. So 1, 2, so that you've got a tail sticking off the back. And then you take that part and you clip it, and you pull the feathers off the end so that you just have an exposed rib on your feather. And then you just do the same thing to all of them, all 4 feathers. I think my favorite thing about tying flies is that it's an art. It's not perfect. So if your fly does not look like this, it'll probably still catch a fish. The fish don't really care if it's not perfect. You start with 2, tie them towards the back. You want 1 on each side of your hook. You start with a loose wrap, a couple loose wraps to get them in place. You can move them once you got them on there loose, and then tighten them up. And then you just go a little further up and put in your other 2 the same way. Okay, so you got 4 hackle feathers sticking out the back. All right. The next step is you use bucktail, and bucktail can come in a lot of different colors. I'm going to use chartreuse and white. Whenever this is done, it'll look like a minnow. So with most minnows, they have a white belly and a colorful top. So you take a pretty good chunk of the bucktail. All right, so you pull out your fuzz. You don't want it to be longer than your feathers. You want it to come about midway to your feathers. So hold it there, and with your non-dominant hand, trim it. And you tie it in. A couple loose wraps to start. Position it where you want it, and then pull a little tighter. There you go. Then you take some sparkle. This is just Christmas tinsel. I take 1 long piece, fold it in 4ths. You want it to be about the same length as your bucktail. I'm going to trim that down a little bit. And tie that in. And at the end, you just clip it off to length, about the same as the bucktail. All right, and then bait fish usually have a lighter underside, so you get a white bucktail, a little less than you put on the top. Pull your fuzz out. And you don't want this to be longer than your feathers, so hold it up, position it, and then from there, you can clip off the end. If your vise turns, it makes it easier to turn the vise to put it on the bottom. A couple loose straps to start it. And then tighten it up a little. Lefty's Deceiver has red on the front of it. You can use bucktail for this as well if you have a red bucktail. I have red craft fur. You'll tie that in as well. Pull back, tie it. And you don't want that to be long. Just a little speck of red at the front. All right. And then you just clean it up. You want the front to look more like a fish head, to be nice and smooth. Make sure you don't crowd your eye with the thread. It makes it harder to fish with it. This is a whip finisher. You can do a whip finish or just a standard knot. The good thing about the whip finisher is it puts your knot where you want it, not just at the end of the thread. I usually do 2 just for safety. You pull that tight. Cut your thread. And you use a hardener. Helps keep your thread in place. This is just Sally Hansen Hard as Nails nail polish. If you're using a floating fly, this is not the best because it weighs it down, but this is a streamer and it's going to go under anyway, so Hard as Nails isn't going to hurt it. There we go. And that is a Deceiver.